describe Carmelo Anthony as a 4.0 student. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to, just in case people that's watching don't know that, you know, this dude was a smart kid. Like, he was 4.0 student. Even if he wasn't like all the way 4.0, it might have been 3.9, 3. I don't know, but he was like real smart academically. I just wanted to put that in there. So he wasn't like a thug, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 3 point. I think he had a 4.0, 3.7, right? He had a couple scholarship offers and etc.
Father
Yeah.
reported 3.7.
Okay. Let me get EBD. EBD was popping.
Interesting conversation. I don't think it matters how smart or successful you are. There are no black people who are above the law, especially self-defense. The reason why we are not afforded the rights of white people is because, you know, starting with the founding document, we are not considered like full citizens or equal human beings in the eyes of the law. There is no state that recognizes it. There's no court that recognizes it. They recognize white people with all of their inalienable rights, even the right to self-defense, which in fact can translate to deletion or the M word. You know, I don't want to say the word because I think it's a legal output of a system that goes through place. They can call you this word. They can call you a murderer. You've been convicted of murder, right? Anything before that is going to be alleged. The problem is we are guilty for things that we have not even done or been tried for, and therefore punished before going through any system. We are arrested, we are punished, we are beaten, we are murdered within our own homes, on the street, standing around doing nothing. Our children are murdered in the street with toy guns. Our children are being beaten up, followed by some random dude with a gun who says he doesn't belong where he actually is. If you're not considered a full legal human being, then everybody who looks at you thinks that you're a criminal and therefore doing something wrong, which isn't the case. So we've been prosecuted and persecuted just for existing on this rock since the beginning. There hasn't been a day, hour, minute, or holiday where that hasn't been the case. And we do not have this history of violence, of randomly violating people in their peaceful little neighborhoods while their kids swing on a set or go up. And no matter how much trauma and things that we have suffered upon this rock, we don't have a black Dylan Roof. We don't have a black Kyle Rittenhouse. We would have several attacking white institutions by now, given what we've gone through, but we don't have that. We don't have that history. We have the capability of wilding out, but we don't. And if the violence is only relegated to our neighborhoods and not some virus that hits Chinatown and India Town and all these little things like that, then it's restrictive. Our violence only goes so far. Their violence comes into our neighborhoods, our jobs, our homes, our schools, our churches. That is the difference.
EBD question. I just want to ask. I think you said a lot. Let me ask you a question, right? Because this is the retort that you would get probably. What about the 14th?
14th Amendment?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 14th Amendment, but you have to live within the context of people who honor the law. You have to honor the Constitution in order for it to mean anything. If I can just take from you and remove you, if I have the ability as a person, let's just say this, because let's put this in context. I'm a white person. Okay. I have the ability in a system behind me to have your child removed from school, to share the valedictorian spot with you with a phone call. Even though my child isn't as smart as yours, I can have a phone call with the principal and have enough weight to have my daughter right there next to yours sharing the valedictorian spot. Yes, happened. We can go through it. I can have you removed from a store. I can have you removed from any kind of system of access of wealth or power or privilege. I can make you from a successful business person into a homeless person. I can take all of your wealth with a system. I got it like that. You don't.
Brother, what?
Well, I think he's speaking on things like eminent domain as an example. So we see, and I'm just thinking about his point. We see it happen to, and now the argument could be that we don't own those things in the first place. But the fact is they are predominantly occupied by black minorities, right? So you have the Cabrini Greens, right? You have the Damn, what's the one in DC? Be Berry Farms, right? And they turned it into some other shit, a park or something, and then black people are oftentimes pushed out to where they can afford,
Yeah, but that's
Bruce
the problem with
Beach.
that, the reason why it wouldn't fit HAMP is, again, you're living in government quarters. So when the government decides to tear those things down, that has nothing to do with race, you should just be self-sufficient enough to have your own fucking place to live in or
Bruce's
rent
Beach.
outside of the government.
Well, think
Bruce's
about
Beach.
so hold on, Bobo. So think about this, right? If you are relegated to those areas, right, and they put parameters in which you don't qualify to live here, depending on how well you do or not do, right? So, like for instance, there's these homes. It's the rent's like $1,500, but you can't make over $40,000.
I know.
Right. So people don't know no better. Generally, they're looking for qualifications, and so they're qualifying for such, and then you tear it out from under them, right? Because you want to build a park.
That's why you don't make yourself sufficient. So this is the problem with that HAMP, though. This is the problem. So
EBD. If I messed up your point, I apologize.
No, go ahead. It's a bigger argument than anything that's anecdotal. Whatever you're gonna say, fantastic. Please make that point, but I'll make it right after you. Whatever you're gonna say.
No, it's cool. So again, you're speaking to the problem, and this is where people claim black people are emotional. You're speaking as if we're still back pre the 14th Amendment, brother. There is no way that a white person can come into anything and just take some shit from you without you having the legal recourse. All right, the legal and lawful recourse to fight for, and
they're legal. They're legal. They own it.
No, well, no, they don't. What are you talking about? They own it. Who is
they? They own it. Okay, the lawyer has lunch with the judge, who has lunch with the cops, who has lunch with the prosecutor, who has lunch with, bro.
You're talking about the system. So you're talking about the legal system.
Yes, the system as it stands.
Hold on. So now.
What are we talking about? I don't know what Mr. Fantastic's talking about. Whenever it's anecdotal, you're not getting the full picture. You're never getting the full picture. Let's try this again. Let me try it again.
I said
hang on.
What you're saying.
Mr. Fantastic, let me just ask you, let's just go simple. Has there ever been a day where a black person can go around and arrest somebody or have somebody removed from the premises or call law enforcement and say, hey, this white guy that's in my store, hang on. Has there ever been like this? Oh my God. Okay, listen. We don't have law enforcement system. We don't have our own law enforcement system. Would you agree?
You don't need it.
Would you agree?
You don't need it.
I'm asking you a question. Do black people have law enforcement representation?
Asians don't.
Yes, they do. But they do. Chinatown has its own Chinese police.
That's a lie. That's illegal. No, they don't.
No, it's not illegal. It's not illegal for Chinatown to have Chinese police.
No,
yes, it is. It's illegal.
So in New York City, they had a police department that wasn't sanctioned. They got
Thank you. It was illegal. So you see y'all.
Okay, so it's illegal. Okay, so it's illegal, right? But they still have agency, right? They still have agency. We don't have agency. Hang on. If we had agency, you couldn't have a Tamir Rice. You wouldn't have a Trayvon Martin. You wouldn't have anybody who ever thought that they can lay a hand to us unless they had agency behind them, which causes entitlement. These people can be bullied and murdered, and these people go home. That's agency. We don't have that. We never had that. We've never had the right to strap on an AR-15, walk into a church, and walk out again alive.
So consider this, right, Mr. Fantastic? When you look at the 13th as an example, right? But what happened when the slaves were freed? What did they create? So you had 1 million people released in the earth, essentially, and then they start creating loitering laws, no soliciting laws, things of that nature. And the 13th also states that you can be put back in bondage if you are arrested and charged and put in the penitentiary. But all I'm asking is, I'm just saying, we taking this walk with each other, right? As opposed to immediately retort, just understand, because I'm trying to understand what EBD's saying. But I guess what I'm looking at is what EBD's painting, and then the strategy behind things like the 13th and etc.
Okay, so this is where it falls apart. We got to jump in a time machine to talk about it. This shit hasn't been relevant for over 100 fucking years in the majority.
What about
okay?
What about
All right,
Jim?
it hasn't been relevant, and it hasn't been relevant for that fucking long. Even during Jim Crow times, you still had
Question.
rights. That's why you were able.
Question.
See, this is where the
Wait,
problem.
wait. Question.
Y'all let him get his point across, man.
Hang on. Question. I know his point. He's saying
I'm
that.
freezing. I apologize.
I just heard what he
Let's
said.
do this. Let's do this. Let him finish the point.
Go ahead.
Damn.
Finish the point.
Please.
Go for it.
So y'all keep hopping in this fucking time machine. War is me, racism, no rights, whatever. This is 2025. Okay, I don't give a fuck about that shit 100 years ago. I don't care about 60 years ago. Today, you have the same rights as whites. You have the same rights as Asians. Y'all obsessed with fucking white people and worried about it. EBD, you in a house right now, or you in an apartment?
House.
Did the white man take your house?
No, but he has the ability and agency to do so.
Hold on, stop. Hemp, you in a house, right?
Yeah.
Has a white man ever came and tell you to get out your shit or even file legal paperwork to try and take your shit?
No.
Thank you. So that's what I'm talking about. Stop living in the fucking past and live in the fucking present and the reality. You are protected by the same constitution you complaining about. All right? You're not 3/5 man no more. You're a whole one now. So let's stop going back and having to reach back to motherfucking roots, fucking talking points.
Okay.
You can sue. You can fucking press charges. You can have a person removed from a fucking business. You can do everything that the white people do. But the reason niggas don't do it because y'all swear that that's not for us. That's the white man rule.
All right,
that's for
let's
the white people.
Hey, I'm gonna slide on this. This is the same point I was making when dudes would come up here complaining about what they deal with their baby mama and stuff like that. You can go to the court and fight that too, but that's a discussion we can have, but we can't have a discussion about what was going on 100 years ago as if those symptoms are not still present now. And the game is always being manufactured and changed to keep us fighting uphill. So, of course, things have improved, but the idea that now the system has changed so way tremendously because we got a house, that's kind of like the point. That's how you know our balls have been cut, pause. Because like they gave us a house with some degrees and a little bit of money. So it's like, yeah, y'all arrived now and we still fighting to get those 400 years that we lost. So I'm not saying that progress hasn't been made, but trying to use it as a talking point to say that the system ain't still the system that's constantly being redesigned to keep the power structure where it is. I'm with you, Miss Fantastic. I'm not trying to make myself be a victim, but at the same time, we can acknowledge what's going on. You try to make it seem like it don't exist. But I do think it's ironic when we had these discussions about race, how there's no point to talk about it. But when it's time to talk about how bad women are in the child support system, that's an enemy we can't defeat. That's when I get like, okay, so I'm confused. But
well, that's why again, and here we go with the confusion, brother. The problem is that the child support issue in the family court and law system. That's something that all men agree with, regardless of race.
I get
so, and that's and most importantly, Shad, that's right now. It's happening currently,
and everything is going right now. Right now, we're dealing with some of the things the government still got we're trying to beat.
And again, what kills all the bullshit y'all talking about is how is it that black people have been here? One of the first original big three people. You had white folks, Native Americans, black folks. Agreed? Right. Now, somehow, some way, people that this is not their original homeland have migrated here. We've killed all this bullshit.
You a Haitian.
Hold on.
You a Haitian.
Brother, stop.
Hold on,
brother. This whole talented 10th shit is a lie. It's not the talented 10th. That wasn't the thing. They didn't get the best and brightest for these fucking people. The people that came from China and came from Japan and came from fucking the Middle East and shit. They didn't come over here because they were the best fucking of the best. No, they came over here and they fucking found a way and they created a fucking system and depended upon each other to overcome the system. This is why now, again, y'all keep talking about the white man when the white man is being out-earned by like 3 different groups of people. This is niggas' problems. Niggas are obsessed with the white man and swear that the white man won't let them get over, that the white man won't let you be successful, and you own the white man's internet right now, making good money, living a good life. When the last time you got called a hard R, Shad? It's been recent.
So I didn't.
Hold on, answer my question, brother. When the last time you had a white person? When the last time you had a white person call you a hard R, brother?
Go ahead, let him respond.
Yesterday.
I just want him to finish the rant so I can talk. I'm not doing the break. I can't talk. I want to be able to talk. So finish your rant. Don't ask me no question.
Okay, so this is the point. You niggas get up here and complain
with
about racism you're not experiencing. It's all in your fucking head. All right? I am a fucking black man. All right? A big one. All right?
Beans, I'm gonna go after you respond, Beans.
You know what don't happen to me? I don't get motherfucking white folks just fucking calling the police randomly or you know, or getting the motherfucking clan together and all this shit that y'all niggas claim is happening. Bruh.
Let's get a response.
You are an American citizen. You have rights and you're gonna be all right.
All right. Go ahead, Sean.
Real quick, man. This is an intellectual lazy.
Got you, Bobo.
We do the same thing as if I'm saying that men are riding around with clan masks on with horses tying to the back of a horse. If you do any research, again, like I said, you understand what the game is and how the game is constantly being changed. So certain people remain in power. But guess what? Black people are resilient. We're not victims. So we're going to keep on trying to figure it out. And we got to keep on working with each other because that's all we have. I'm not sitting here talking about how dangerous and powerful the white man is. But what I am saying in reality is that there's a system that's been in place since America was founded. And so far, that system ain't changed much. It looks different. Yeah, black people got houses and degrees now. Woo, whoop-de-doo. But we still fighting the same powers that be, and we've been fighting since we got over here. But again, like I said, black people are resilient, and it's okay with minding out what the issues are and how we fix it. Like I said, y'all have no problem talking about how bad women are. We can break that shit down for 100 years. But when it comes to talking about the white people who killed, murdered, tortured your people, we shouldn't have them discussions because we got houses now. Because niggas got cars they can drive. So we shouldn't talk about that. History won't be nice to you, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. In regard to this, history ain't gonna be nice to niggas that think like that, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Volvo or Beans, did you want to? My bad.
Yeah, it's so fantastic. I think I see what you're saying, right? Because I know the conservative point of view is you won't get much done if your mindset is that of a victim, right? And so I do understand that. But I think I don't know what word to use to describe this, so I'm not gonna just interject one because I don't want to be wrong. But if you're saying that we have the rights, you're talking about what's on paper. What the brothers is talking about is what's actually executed, right? So they're saying you can say 13th Amendment, you can say 14th Amendment, you can name all the amendments you want to. But if that, I don't know when the 14th Amendment was put into the Constitution, I'm going to assume it was still in the 1800s. Why would you then need the civil rights movement 60, 70, 80 years later? Right? Because whatever is being put on paper is still not being executed equally. Right? So to your point, yeah, we got the rights on paper and today we can execute more things as black people. Well, there you go. Yeah, in the 1800s, right? So we can definitely execute more things as black people. It's the argument that I always make, Fantastic, is that we make it seem like the people who are complaining aren't necessarily enduring anything. If you're talking about us on the internet, then that may be true. But in real life, I don't know nobody that's complaining about the system. So if I come across somebody that's complaining about the system, I take it seriously. Because I'm like, they must be going through something because I don't know nobody that is concerned with the system at this point.
That's good. Volvo? That's good.
Well,
I gotta go ahead, Volvo.
You know, it's a couple of things that the guy said is really weird. Like the brother said, you on the wrong side of history. That ideology, that's been always on the wrong side of history. And you just today on the wrong side of history. But he mentioned the first three. Out of those first three you claimed, the Native Americans and whites, only one of those groups was enslaved. Only one of those groups was Jim Crow. Only one of those groups ain't receive reparations for the harm that was done. Only one of those groups was mass incarcerated. Science experiments did on them. Bombs dropped on their cities and towns. That ain't happened. That ain't American history. Crack dropped in their community. Heroin dropped in their community. Remember, we trying to overcome a sabotage. Only you mentioned all these people that come to America and they and they overcame the system. They ain't overcome no system. They came to a better system, the best system. It's the best system because of us. When these people come out the jungle, the real jungle, where they live next to monkeys and tigers. These people eating out the trash. They come out motherfucking eating bush meat. Motherfucking over there in Asia, they over there eating out the trash and eating spiders and roaches. They came over here and got the hookup. They ain't overcome no system. What you talking about, boy? Like, what you talking about? They ain't have to overcome no system. What is this guy talking about? They got to upgrade by fleeing their country and coming here and taking advantage of all these civil rights. You only been you only not being 3/5 of a human being for 60 years. My mama 70. She just became she ain't even live her whole life as a human being. The civil rights movement was in the 60s, by the way. Scrunching your face up and all that. We live in today.
Told you the fucking 14th Amendment was in
1866.
I'm talking about the civil rights movement. I know when it is. I know American history.
She was a whole person.
No, I'm saying the civil rights movement to where you didn't have to jump out of a white man's way. You didn't have to get off the ride on the back of the bus.
He's
where they
saying
hanging signs that say no hard R's allowed. They didn't care if you was our military men. They got treated like hard R's. They got treated like hard R's in the military. They couldn't. Yeah. They got treated like hard R's.
Yeah, Vovo's saying treatment.
You don't know about that.
He's saying treatment.
Hard R's. You should be saying, hold on. I just want to go one more minute. We live in today. Today we can see where the LA Police Department just got caught as a white supremacist groups. Today, we just seen Nori Martinez, a city councilman, a politician, sitting around talking about how she want to undermine her black constituents. He can't see that though. We just seen a paramedic in North Carolina said that when he go to a black neighborhood, he use a higher gauge needle when he dealing with black children to terrorize them. He want a higher gauge needle. He don't use the children needle. He use the adult needle. These people saying this, they get caught on video every day. These people that run the system, police officers, politicians, all these people get caught on audio every day saying, I want to hurt niggers, hard R's. They want to hurt niggers. They want to, these the people that took an oath and they swore to protect us. This the system. So what this guy talking about, he all the way off. He just a coon. That's it. It ain't no fixing that.
So I wanted, Freezy, you got anything? You've been chilling.
No. Actually, I was I'm about to push up because I got to take care of something. I was just trying to make sure everybody got their thoughts out. But man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate this conversation. No matter what side of the coin you're on, I always say these conversations aren't for us on the panel. It's for people watching, so they could decide or whatever. But and I just want to say I understand what Fantastic is saying as far as black folk empowering in themselves. I get that. I just think that it is kind of hard to convince the majority of black folk to think that way. Because I always use the Sonya Massey situation. It was just so obvious that it wasn't her fault. And when you got black folks demonizing this woman, this dead woman, that's when I have a problem. Like, I want to unify with, all black folk. That's ideal. But it's just kind of hard when people actually expose their mentality. And now you got to decide for them, do I really want to rock with this dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is he really on? So, but I'm all for the collective. I really am all for the collective. Even with my spiritual beliefs, that's what we believe. HAMP know that. So, I mean, I can appreciate everything that was said and I can decipher it. I guess I'm just when it comes to Carmelo Anthony, I just don't want us to demonize this kid so quick. Just because he did decide to reach in his bag and use something other than his fist. He hit the dude one time and he ran, and to me that's significant. And with that, I just want to get up out of here. Because I got some other stuff. So, man, I appreciate you. Everybody else on the panel, I appreciate y'all, man. Shalom, man.
Shalom, be safe.
Con.
So, there's one thing I wanted, because when Beans was talking, EBD shot like Volvo, but it sparked in my mind kind of what Shah was saying in Beans too. And then EBD, I know that you want to add something, and then I'm gonna read the super chats. You can add something, and I'll get CJ. All right. A couple of things, right, in terms of the system that I don't think we consider. Relly, you good? You gonna add something? Okay. So that I don't know if we consider the plea bargain system, right? I don't know in the recidivism rate because of parole and probation. I don't know if we know how systemically oppressing those things can be, especially how black people derive and where we come from. If we come from change, right? You're usually a little bit more poor, just generally speaking. You can get on high. We're not denying that. But like plea bargaining, you can't afford to go to trial. So they offer you different things. The truth is that the judges, the prosecutors, all of them are in cahoots, right? I spent a lot on an attorney. As soon as I switched, they gave me the plea that I was looking for because that attorney that I had was in cahoots with the prosecutor. It's literally that simple. I could have saved myself $15,000, right? The recidivism rate. You over police certain areas, maybe because it's more crime ridden, but then you have to ask yourself, if you put more police anywhere, would the crime rates go up? Right. And so we look at how many people get remanded and get put back in jail for probation or parole. And we're wondering why has this happened? You can get violated for anything. You can get violated for how your PO feels. You know, it's not that simple, but it might as well be. So I'm looking at these things systemically as the brothers are talking so we can assess it. Right. And I'm using anecdotal experience to kind of help the point be seen. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just add one thing to your point? Just
no, sir. No, sir.
You said no? Oh, okay.
I love you, Bobo. No. EBD. Let me read these super chats and then you get it and then I'll
just 1 second. I just want to consider everybody to consider one thing as you read the super chats, just a little food for thought. Like black people have like given America its wealth, power, and its freedom, yet these things are completely denied from us all the way.
Yeah. So EBD, do you want to add more to that? Or was that food for thought?
That was food for thought for your super chats, but I wanted to add just a bit more context to what everybody's saying.
All right, and then Volvo, after EBD goes, I'll give you a quick 20 seconds and I gotta get CJ in, all right?
Yeah, just so everybody's working off the same playbook, because I understand like we say that there's a victim mentality, and I get this a lot from, I guess, the conservative right, saying that all we have to do is change our thinking, and we'll do better as a community. When you're minding your own business, when you're filling out all the paperwork, when you're paying all your taxes and your bills on time, that does not stop a person who is not white, or a person who is white, from seeing you other than something that is not human, or seeing you as a thug or a rapper. You can be wearing any clothes that you want, you can be making any money that you want, but it doesn't change their thinking and operandi when they look and see you, right? No one sees me and says, well, gee, there's a software engineer right there. I guess I should hire him for my business and pay him a whole bunch of money to fix my software and enhance my business. The first thing that they see is my skin color, and they go off of that. Before I open my mouth, I'm already judged and assessed in a negative directive that I've not even had to do anything. I didn't have to hurt anybody or say anything in order to get negatively assumed, stereotyped by anyone who is or isn't in law enforcement, or at a store, or at a school, or at a public park, or at a restaurant. I already have a negative label everywhere I go from an entire race of people, because they have this media megaphone to create a narrative that creates an automatic boogeyman. We are not seen as doctors. We're not seen as lawyers. We're not seen as bankers. We're not seen as anything that contributes positively to the community or the United States as a whole. If we're only seen as entertainments and thugs on television, and that the media is such a machine that it can push out these negative images, how else are Indians and Muslims and Asians going to see us other than what's presented by the media?
Okay.
Is a question?
No, it's just something for your ass.
Please don't let this motherfucker keep going.
Volvo, real quick, and then I'm gonna get CJ. Shot, I got you. I gotta let Mr. Fantastic. I don't know if there's nothing to respond to necessarily, but
I just wanted to add to your point. You was giving out stats. The one stat I wanted to give: 13% of the population is responsible for almost 70% of the exonerations. That tells me that that's systemic. That's we're almost 70% of the exonerations, and it was 13% of the population.
That is an
One
interesting.
last thing, I'm gonna go fast with this.
Go
The victim mentality is a victim mentality is when you complain about something that's not being done. You're acting like somebody's doing something to you, and it's not really happening. We bringing up things that is happening, so that ain't no victim mentality. If I knock somebody in the head and steal their car, that guy's an actual victim. The police ain't gonna pull up and say, "Stop acting like a victim. He just bust you in the head and stole your car." No, he's an actual victim. So that don't ever let nobody shame you and be like, "Oh no, you shouldn't be saying that." That shit don't work on me. I'm gonna tell the truth, and I'm gonna take whatever comes with it.
CJ, what's popping?
How's my mic? It's straight.
Straight, goody.
All right, so I used to have a victim mentality growing up, feel me, years back. And I think it's because, growing up poor as a kid and you seeing other people, like people better off than you, and you need a reason for this. Like you try to make up a reason in your mind. And when they keep feeding you that white people are holding you down, white people holding black people back, and this is why black people are doing so bad, then you start to believe it, especially growing up. But then you start to realize, like as I grew older, I start to realize, and then it's so weird because you see white people that aren't like devils, or you have white teachers or white people that aren't evil people, and like you sound kind of conflicted. Like, are white people evil or are they not evil? And I think it's so easy to have a victim mentality, especially for the people that like. It's so much easier to blame it on something outside of yourself. For the people that aren't doing well in life, that's the crutch. It's not my fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's the white people holding me back. That's why I'm a loser. You're a loser because you make bad decisions. I was poor growing up because my parents made bad decisions. You're poor, you're a loser or poor, or whatever the case is, because you make bad decisions for the most part. I'm not saying that there's never anything that's holding you back. It's not no kind of racism in the world, but that's not the thing that's holding most black people back. We just and it really be the loser because the people that's well off, the people that's like doing well for themselves, the doctors, the lawyers that are black, they don't sit around complaining about white supremacy. Then LeBron James did that shit. The white people are chasing us down and white people are hunting us. Like, ain't no the white people are chasing you for autographs. White people aren't hunting these people down. Like, it's such a crazy, weird. I've been pulled over by white cops a lot. And guess what they don't do? Nigga, get out the car. Get out the car, you black motherfucker. They never do this shit. But we keep acting like white people are just so evil and they're just holding us back. It's such a fucking weird. Black people are such victims, bro. And I hate that shit.
Hey,
Shy, please.